Hey fam, it's me here for a comic show. I'm here with a stack of books, more Star Wars, and man, it's been an exciting time for comic news. The universes are losing their numerical values. There's going to be like the 52 is no longer going to have its branding. It won't be 52 books, and Marvel's 616 might not be called 616 anymore. And you know, as long as we get more great comics, I'm freaking happy because there's always going to be bad comics, mediocre comics, and great comics. And whatever shifts they do, if I get more great comics, I'm thrilled. I'll have more news on that after the DC Roadshow. But let's dig into this. Star Wars Darth Vader #1 by Gillen and Larroca. Seriously, the little Star Wars fanboy of me, like inside, just loved this. It was nostalgia heaven. I giggled, I screamed, I squealed, I squeed. It is so much. I've seen a few negative reviews of some of the Star Wars with Jason Aaron, the first 2 issues that have been out, of it's really fan service and really pandering. And while I can agree with some of that, I really don't care. I really don't care. I am so much enjoying it. I care enough to read the reviews and think like, yeah, I can agree with those points. However, you know, it's like, you know, I know some food is bad for me, but I eat the shit out of that food, you know, like it's a lot like that, you know. And this issue, there's a reason why the first 2 Star Wars came out before this, because this is the same story, this is the same movie, this is the same cinematic setup that Vader, who was just in issue 2 of Star Wars, is in here reporting to the Emperor of his failures. Like, he had the biggest failure. He was the only survivor of the failure of the Death Star, and the Emperor is putting him in his place. And he's going to Jabba to try to get maybe the materials for building the new Death Star, get whatever type of, you know, smuggling, whatever the hell he's doing. And that's not a spoiler that I'm trying to avoid. It's just that stuff's not really that important to me. What he really wants, what Vader wants, is revenge, obviously. And who he hires for that is really cool. And also this new character that the Emperor might be using to do secret, shady stuff for the Empire instead of Vader. That Vader is not like, he's an instrument to be welded, but not to weld himself. So I super enjoyed this. And, you know, if you saw the preview pages, you know my man Boba Fett's in it. So I squee whenever I see Boba Fett. I'm sorry, I just do. Like, I really don't care about Jango Fett or any of that stuff. But that classic Boba Fett stuff, that gets me going every time. Moving on to Thor. It's more tease of who the Lady Thor is. The female Thor, man, male Thor is just on the worst bender, like literally the worst mead bender ever. He keeps accusing different people of being Thor, and he's just pissing everyone off. We know it's not his mother from last issue when he made out with Thor, and she's like, would your mom do that? And he's like, oh, I hope you're not my mom now. But anyway, we're finding out who it is slowly. Thor has a list he's actually crossing off. And I'm excited for the annual, too, with CM Punk and all that. It's, this Thor is awesome. And what I like most about this Jason Aaron Thor with the new female Thor is the old Thor is in it. You know, he's the supporting character, but he's in it. And he is just on this downward spiral, this terrible bender that I'm really enjoying watching. So, awesome. Spider-Verse, this is the conclusion. Part 6, it's done. And so many of the different universe characters had very exciting little integral roles to, you know, the end. I'm not even going to say the defeat of the bad guys, but, you know, it's a Spider-Man story. They get the crap beat out of them thoroughly, and, you know, Parker wins at the end, but it's always a Pyrrhic victory. That is the Peter Parker story. But having said that, there was enough moments in here that I thoroughly enjoyed, that I laughed at. The Spider-Ham, how can you not enjoy him? It's fun. I'm loving it. I'm loving what's coming next for Spider-Man. Black Vortex. I like the first issue. This issue was awesome. I like these characters together. I like sci-fi X-Men's. And I like this thing of them being cosmiced up, this cosmic power of giving them this extra stuff that's coming from some dark ancient god, whatever. And we get to see what a lot of these characters would be like, all amped up with crazy, crazy cosmic powers. And Gamora is the one that happened last issue, so that's not a spoiler. And then it goes through, don't look at the last page first. You get a lot of fun. And Howard the Duck's on the cover, but I didn't see Howard the Duck in it, so sad face. Rocket Raccoon, You got volume 1 out this week. Get it if you're waiting for it. Scotty Young is doing a bang-up job on that. For DC, we have Harley Quinn Valentine's Day Special. You can get the Batman tied up, you know, because we have to be PC, he's tied up. Or you could get the misogynistic Harley Quinn tied up, you know, because, you know, they like to put her in a bathtub and throw a toaster in it or whatever. And you can have your own blank cover that you can draw whatever social justice warrior stuff you want to draw on it, you know? So you can do that with the blank cover. But in all seriousness, this book was not serious at all. It was very fun, very funny, and it's all done, all the art's by Timm's, John Timms, who was here signing the store, who was a beautiful, beautiful man from Costa Rica. And there's some dream sequences in here that he shows off his more animation flair because he was trained as an animator by anime animators, by a Japanese animator in Costa Rica. So you get to see some of that. I know his backstory now. We spent a lot of time together. And you got Bruce Wayne, you got some Batman, you got some kissy-kissy with Harley Quinn. It's the ideal Harley Quinn Valentine's Day special if Joker's not going to be in it. And I like that. I want something new. Cool. Give me her and Bruce Wayne and Valentine's and all that kissy-kissy heart stuff, XOXO. I enjoyed it. Secret 6, Gail Simone, issue 2. I got more of that stuff that I loved from Villains United and Secret 6. I got more of that. I know it's New 52. I know there's a lot of things different and changed. I got a lot of Catman. I got Black Alice doing something amazing. I got the ventriloquist doing stuff cool, which, you know, I wasn't totally sold on this new ventriloquist from her Batgirl run. You know, I realize it's New 52 when they make changes and all that, but I really like this second issue a lot more than the first issue. And I know she has to play in this new world, and you know, she can't just do total like pandering fan service to me of like writing the next issue of Secret 6 that was in the previous DC continuity. But second issue, I'm sold, I'm on, I'm ready to go. Moving on to some independent stuff, Joe Benitez, Lady Mechanica. This issue was 2 and 3 together for $5. We had 0 and 1 together for $4 last week. Sold like crazy. It is steampunk. His art's really great, really detailed, just awesome stuff. We had a little dust up with him at Phoenix Comic-Con like maybe 3 years ago where, I don't know, he was really drunk and he was trolling some people maybe, and maybe we trolled him a little bit, but I think we squashed that beef. I love his art. I'm pushing the shit out of his book, and I'm glad that it's coming back. I'm glad that it's going to have a new series with a writer so he can focus on just the art and get it out on a timely basis. I'm hoping that he's turned everything around and it's going to sell great for us. Like, it seriously sells itself. You put this book on your shelf as a retailer and it sells itself. It's just like, oh, what is this? That's pretty. I want it. Whatever. It's like the marriage of comics and cosplay. Like, get this and then dress up like it. You know, maybe read the book if you have to. Look at the pictures. Use it for reference for your cosplay. I don't know. All I know is I'm glad that he's doing stuff, and I want people to succeed, and good for you, Joe. Good for you. Valiant, Divinity. Really enjoy Valiant. I love this Valiant Next. I love their take on the prestige format comic. And this is his book. It's Matt Kent. You do not have to have ever read another Valiant comic to read this and enjoy it, and you don't have to read a different one after this. Like, this book, it's about a Russian cosmonaut that was just left on a doorstep in Russia somewhere, raised by the state or whatever, to be like their great cosmonaut, you know, dude, and he goes off in space and he becomes a god. He becomes a god and he comes back. Do you want to read that? Yes, you do. That's awesome. A Russian cosmonaut goes to space, gets god powers, becomes a god, and comes back. What? Take that, Putin. Okay, moving on. Image, the rest is Image. Southern Bastards. Jesus, I love this book. Jason Aaron, Jason Latour. This, I am just, I have empathy for Boss now that I never thought I would. And this issue was awesome. This sums it up. This is him bleeding for football, his father being a total piece of shit, and just, it felt so authentic. And I recommend, you know, eating some like pulled pork or burnt ends while you know, sipping on some sweet tea. But seriously, Southern Bastards is the shit. And if you like Jason Aaron's work on other stuff and you like Jason Latour's work on other stuff, this is where their heart is. This is them with their most authentic voice, telling it like it is, and I enjoy it. Shutter by Joe Keaton. I'm enjoying this. I really dig this weird take on the fantasy adventurer And the take of like, what if all these weird mutants and monsters that the fantasy adventurer, you know, white guy fights really aren't that horrible? They're just misunderstood, or, you know, we're seeing them through our cultural lens, and maybe the white guy is just acting from his privilege and just really being straight up racist and specious to these monsters that, like, why do we even call monsters? That sounds like a slur. And, you know, read the book. It's Shudder. First issue, $1. First volume is $10. Pick it up. Walking Dead. Look at this gross cover. But his girl doesn't think it's gross. She actually like tongues the socket in here. That's the only spoiler I'm going to give. She tongues the socket, you guys. I'm sorry, Robert Kirkman. I'm sorry I spoiled that she tongues the socket in this issue. Tongue the wet socket. I don't know. It was cool. And there's a lot more that happens in this issue. There's a lot of things that, you know, the classic Walking Dead stuff where the plot moves with characters being put in peril and all that stuff. But yeah, Carl's girlfriend tongues his socket, and it was hot. And, you know, I didn't know that I liked that kind of stuff, and now I do, and it's sad. I'm going to have a lot of Google searches to delete later. And finally, Warren Ellis, Trees. This is his new long form opus, hopefully. Hopefully this is his next transmet. Hopefully he's on this for the long freaking haul. I am enjoying the hell out of it. This is 8 issues collected, so it is $15. It's not a $10 image number 1, but those $10 image number 1s are typically 5 to 6 issues. This is 8 issues, and it's Warren freaking Ellis. You know, like, we have to convert these American dollars into UK pounds or whatever they are. So he needs, yeah, he's freaking Warren Ellis. But basically there's these trees that come, these big spears, these big crazy things. They come into Earth and they put this nasty stuff everywhere and kill all these people, and then they do nothing for years, nothing. And what type of politics go around that? What type of religions might go around that? What are these alien invaders that don't communicate with us, don't talk to us, just kill off a bunch and then just sit there? And what's the world like? And then chaos happens. Then Warren Ellis does something in that last issue that really pissed me off, but also has me, like, there's no way I won't read the next issue. There is no way that you could stop me from reading the next issue. The final issue here seriously evoked an emotional response. It's like, what the hell are you doing, Warren Ellis? This is insane. You made me care about this, and now you do this. What? And that's cool. That's just swinging for the fences, and I hope that this ballsy move is part of this long form that he's doing. Like, you know, Transmet was like 10 volumes. I hope it's not just like, oh, here's volume 2 and he's done. I really want a big story from Warren Ellis, and I hope that's what we're getting with Trees, because I'm enjoying it. Thanks, you guys. There has to be something in here you'd like. Check something out, and look back for my next video on the DC Roadshow, because I'm going to be there, and I'm going to ask some tough questions to DC Comics. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.